Good morning, everyone. This is the May meeting of the College Partnership Laboratory Standing Committee, and I'm Joan Smith, the chair of the committee. Dr. Armstrong, would you call the roll of the members of the standing committee?
Yes, ma'am. Chair Liston.
Present.
Vice Chairman.
Present.
Mr. Bailey. Mr. Bailey. We call me, sorry, Mr. President. I couldn't hear it. Everyone's looking at me somewhere. Mr. Bailey. Grant.
Present.
Mr. Mothman. Here.
I will note that I have approved the remote participation of Mr. John Bailey under the board's bylaws under section 2.2 3708.3B3 of the Code of Virginia. Such participation is allowed because his principal residence is more than 60 miles from the meeting location identified in the notice. At this time, if you would please join me in a moment of silence, followed by the pledge of allegiance. All right. Thank you for that moment of settling. I have noticed that we don't have an American flag in the room today, so we will unfortunately have to dispense with the pledge of allegiance, but we'll certainly do so at our next meeting. All right, at this time, we're going to move to the approval of the amended agenda. The staff have passed out amended minutes for all the committee members to review. Hopefully you had a chance to peruse those items. I'm going to pause. Make sure everyone has had a chance to review the minutes. And once you give me kind of a nod, I'll proceed with the approval of those.
Approval. Okay.
So you're ready.
I read them.
You're ready. Yeah, so we have, yeah, okay, is there a motion to approve the amended minutes? So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by stating aye.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Any opposed, vote state nay. All right, the minutes are approved. At this time, we'll move to approval of the amended agenda. Is there a motion to approve the amended agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of approving the motion, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Any opposed, state nay. The motion is unanimously approved. That concludes the ratification of our modified agenda. At this time, we're going to move on to an update from Mr. Hanson, our Vice President of the Virginia State Board of Education, as well as the standing committee member, who's going to provide the standing committee with an update on last month's State Board of Education and the deliberation related to lab schools. Mr. Hanson.
Well, thank you. Just when we met a few weeks ago, we did approve the 6 lab schools are up to final approval, and including Emory and Henry, George Mason University, Roanoke College, Old Dominion, the Newport News and Old Dominion Chesapeake, and the Paul D. Camp Community College. And all of those were approved with an 8-to-1 vote, with the exception of George Mason, where we had a board member that needed to recuse herself. So I think also just the conversation, was incredibly appreciative of the quality of the applications that have come through, and also to the work of this committee and the work of the staff at the Department of Education for their diligence and helping to work with each of the applicants to ensure their outcomes will be reaching the standards and the hopes that we are expecting in student achievement and performance and impact in their respective communities. So it was pretty much a validation of the community recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Hanson. Any question for Mr. Hanson or Mr. Rockingham? Would you like to add on to that as a member of the State Board of Education?
No, thank you. I think that covers it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hanson. At this time, we'll move to public comment on agenda items. Dr. Armstrong, or any members of the public to speak to agenda items?
No, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you, sir. The standing committee accepts public comment on all matters related to college partnership laboratory schools in Virginia. Public comment is an important consideration and a valued input to the standing committee. Due to the time and cost involved in travel, we certainly encourage members of the public to submit written comments, as well as certainly any time to come and attend meeting or to participate in deliberations. At this time, we're going to move to item A, which is action items for discussion, which is first and final review of the college partnership laboratory school application from Richard Bland Community College. The committee will be hearing from Dr. Kim Boyd from Richard Bland Community College, followed by a staff report from Dr. Armstrong. Please. Mr. Chairman, pleasure to see you, sir. Good morning. Today we're looking forward to receiving your presentation. We and staff have advised you have roughly 8 to 10 minutes to make your presentation. Then we will see if there are any other members of your team that are here that would like to speak to your application, partnership, their collaboration, or interest in it. Then we'll go to Dr. Armstrong. He'll give his staff report. And then we'll go to questions from the committee. So just so you have a sense of what to expect in terms of the show. So please proceed.
Chair Wojcicka, thank you so much. This has been a long journey, and we are delighted to be here today. And I am Debbie Saito. I'm president of Richard Bland College. And I would just like to kind of set the stage for Dr. Boyd and Mr. Pritchett, as I informed the committee that Richard Bland is a one-of-a-kind Virginia college. We offer the complete student experience in years 1 and 2, residential, athletics, a very robust platform of student clubs, activities. And we are presenting this application building on the strengths of Richard Bland College, especially over the last decade. We have gone from a handful of dual enrollment students to now 2,000 students who are enrolled in high school and college simultaneously. So that is one of the strengths that we're really building on with this partnership. Another strength that we've been working on for more than a decade is the customization or personalization of the educational experience, taking students where they are and then helping them to develop the pathway with experienced learner mentors, guiding, recommending tutoring or support services. But it's a program called Guided Pathways to Success. And it truly is sort of personalized or customized pathways. So you will hear elements of that in the presentation today. We have a new building that will open this fall, the Academic Innovation Center, equipped with a virtual reality laboratory. This is where the lab school will reside. This is where students will convene in this brand new building with state-of-the-art technology that is integrated into the educational experience for our lab school students. And finally, as I transition to Dr. Boyd and her presentation, Dr. Boyd is vice president. She oversees the Department of Research and Innovation. So as you hear the presentation, I really want to underline research and innovation. These are component parts of our lab school that we believe is going to set this apart in ways that have tremendous value for the students we serve. Dr. Boyd.
Okay, so I'm not quite sure how to cue the video.
Oh, to the screen.
Thank you.
Holmes Richard Glenn College Lab School is all about creating a broader impact. Students develop habits of mind and workplace discipline that demonstrate engagement, critical thinking, and advocacy towards them.
Become a medical practitioner. Help us start our labs.
Great students, supplemental and optional programs, look at interest and ability based depth.
Help us start our labs.
Our school's curriculum will utilize virtual reality to increase STEM interest and performance and build STEM learning environments.
I'm on the pathway to get an associate's in science degree.
Almost started all about.
We will also include a diversity and leadership program. Persuasion is a part of our daily life. From practitioners, we care about your safety, and we're going to support the teachers.
Bring that circuit up and figure out.
And teachers in training.
Someone might be coming in the early 30s.
This project was aligned with the new Richard Glenn College Innovation Center that has broken ground on the completion date of fiscal year 2024.
And we are going to take a comprehensive approach to building on, lifting up our town, our community.
Help us start our lab school. Our aim is to provide a collaborative STEM training program designed to enhance STEM performance among underrepresented high school students.
Help us start lab school.
We will leverage the strength of 5 universities:
Open pathway to psychology.
Richard Glenn College, William and Mary, Longwood University, Virginia Commonwealth University, and Howard University College.
I'm on the pathway to become a leader program. Help us start lab school.
We also propose to develop mindfulness techniques that stimulate STEM focus while engaging our students.
Help us start our lab school.
Our guided pathways to STEM careers will develop new pathways to pursue robotics and automation training as we look to increase collaboration with industry partners linked to CCAM
You need what? We know the neighbors on the school, and you don't want to get anything of it.
and drone programs.
And will invest $20 million to establish the new testing, training, and R&D center at Richard Glenn College.
We will develop partnerships with Code Virginia to expand RBC computer science offerings with the 9th and 10th grade folks. We will increase diversity amongst our students with stackable certifications through the pursuit of STEM associate and women's degrees.
I'm on the pathway to become a delivery guest.
Help us start with lab school. For the first year starts with the city of Petersburg, as we build and continue to care to support our community. Help us start our lab school.
Increasing STEM performance clearly defines our goals by making education fun and interactive. Building tomorrow's future today, RBC, the next.
I quietly knew that today was time to launch a lab school. A lab school focused on STEM career opportunities.
Thank you. Thank you. So our purpose is to create a space for innovation and engagement. We're actually coming from a place of community need. Together, we built this proposal. We started with Petersburg City Public School a year before the lab school application even came out. We actually conducted research with 382 students in the area around engagement with virtual reality and STEM activities that showed so much progress that we're excited to put it into this lab school. Our goal is to build motivation, interest, and aspiration. We have a purposeful partnership with Petersburg. I'll let Mr. Pritchard speak, but with a focus of representing underrepresented and underserved students. Our goal is to build from what we already see in our community is a creative spirit, a creative nature. It's to actually focus on how many of our students are resilient and how they move forward with purpose, and to help us build stronger knowledge base and scholarship. Mr. Pritchard?
Yes, good morning. Just wanted to say that we are excited about the partnership. We have been a part of the partnership has been in place with Richard Bland, I believe, since about 2008 when we started our dual enrollment program. And just so excited because now we have increased the partnership with VCU, Dr. Ken McKnight. We're actually bringing on Virginia State University, and we're bringing on Bryan Estrada College, and we're also bringing on Richard Bland, where we're building a program for teachers for Petersburg, which is outstanding. We're talking about teachers, once they receive their 2-year degree, they will go on, and for the next 2 years to get their bachelor's, they will actually go on and get their bachelor's degree for free. And we're excited about that. The Department of Education has assisted us with the funding. And so we're just excited because we're going to be able to now have more certified teachers in our classroom because of the partnership. But the lab school gives us other opportunities as far as educational opportunities for our students, something that we've had a hard time providing, and parents have wanted other options. So this is another option, and we're excited about it, and hopefully it will move forward. Thank you.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so Globe Academy is what we've lovingly started referring to it as. Students remain they're enrolled in their home school, but they are offered 2 paths. One path is for students that have an interest and ability in STEAM, and another path is for students who would gain confidence and efficacy in preparation for STEAM. So one of the questions that came up I'd like to address here. The way this Globe Academy is presented, the main trajectory and track is STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And surrounding it is art. We're using art towards art visioning. We had a request even from our partners to actually look at middle schools and work with them with art programs to engage them and have them ready to be our next lab school participants. But in addition, we're actually using art visioning for career pathways. If you visualize where you're at now and you have visions of where you want to go in the future, what do you have to put in place to follow that path? And the second realm around that is health. It is because we actually want to have students look at health within, how are you taking care of your body, but most importantly, health with outside, your mental health, and how that influences your engagement in STEM. We will actually handle that piece with our partners, Bon Secure and Southside Regional Medical Center, who has agreed to come and do summer programs and be a part of one of our weekends out of the month programs and participate on various levels. So we are excited about the holistic approach of our program. So another question also came up about customization. So here's how that is. That's why we wanted to start with the video, because we're able to be small and nimble and to allow students to participate in things that are engaging to them, that excites them. So here's how that looks. On a monthly basis, we have 2 weekends a month where all of the students, whether you're supplemental are optional. You'll be able to come in their boot camps. That's where we're teaching you the basics, the math, the science. We're drilling it in. Yes, we're drilling it in. But summer programs are allowed to focus on students' interests. So we have a math and drones program for individuals interested in drones. We have a virtual reality with biology where you travel through the body, and different summer programs that stimulate. So again, 2 tracks, those with the ability and interest, and those that we want to build confidence. The confidence track is the supplemental track where we're aiming to reach 375 students. That is summer residential academy, 3 to 6 weeks, weekend college, after school, weekly tutoring and instruction, 3-tiered mentoring, and those summer programs that I referenced earlier. I'm trying to make sure I get this all in 8 minutes. The second program is the optional program. Now here's where we double down. These are the students that have ability in STEM. These are our dual enrollment towards associate degree students, but they'll also have advanced STEAM research teams. They'll have separate summer residential academy programs, still a part of our 3-tiered mentoring, but more internships and externships, and enhanced experiential learning opportunities. So question becomes, how many do we imagine to fit in our dual enrollment program? So there's that 25 core, but the 75 students that we saw in the supplemental, they'll be allowed to take dual enrollment courses as it fits in their trajectory. We're actually taking them through a stage of change approach. We want to look at their strengths and build from where they're at. So move them upstairs based on their level, since they'll be coming in at different levels. We want to honor that and look at what works best for them. Here is a breakdown of where we see ourselves today. We'll start year 1 with 25 students. We'll move on to year 2 with 25 11th and 12th graders. By year 3, when we have things moving and we have our models and everything outlined, we bring in our rural schools, we bring in Sussex, we bring in Prince George. We in our application, you'll saw we already have memorandums of understanding with them, and they've already announced that they want to support the lab school vision. Okay, pathways. So the goal behind this entire program is STEM pathways, education, 2- and 4-year degree pursuits, natural and behavioral sciences focus, health professions. We're working with our partners with aviation, with drones, with virtual reality, augmented reality. We've recently, last week, started working with a group called EMICA, where they do artificial intelligence and robotics, and they're interested in coming in and being a part of this lab school. But we'll build from our faculty expertise and curriculum. We have amazing physics faculty, biology faculty, and they will help us discover and increase evidence-based practices. But finally, as Dr. Saito mentioned, all of this will take place in our Academic Innovation Center that is now set to be online, basically now by July. It's looking very lovely. So the line that I want to bring up is we are outcome driven. So we want to be able to do rapid feedback, assessment. This is working, this is what's not working, and be able to make sure we create learning environments that's standard, meeting all of the regular high school requirements, and enhanced. Did I do it in time? Yeah.
Before you proceed, I'm just going to ask one quick clarifying question that may bear on our deliberation this morning. In your remarks, you mentioned that DCU might be a partner in your application. And when we reviewed the application, I did not see DCU mentioned. So I just want to inquire, is DCU a partner in your application?
So,
and here's the reason I'm asking, is if that's the case, I have to recuse myself in consideration of your application.
VCU is not a partner in our application. What Mr. Pritchard and what I'm referring to is VCU. We have a university center, and in our university center, we look at any partners in any directions we can move. We're participating with VCU through our university center with a 2-2.
Thank you, sports fans. I just wanted to triple check that for a moment.
Yes.
Make sure I didn't hear that incorrectly. Okay. For our usual procedure, I certainly want to go back and see, Madam President, do you have any other remarks that you would like to share regarding your community college, Mr. Pritchard, as chair of your board? Otherwise, let's see if there are any other individuals from your community that would like to speak to your application.
Nothing else.
I just want to say that this is a long time coming. This process started way back, and so I'm just excited to be here. Like I said, and hopefully this is something that we can have in Petersburg for our students because they really need it.
Thank you. Would you like to recognize and have statements of support from any members of your community that are here today?
Yes.
Dr. Hamilton? Do I need to allow you, gentlemen? I see you moving the microphone, Brian.
Yes, sir.
Morning, Madam Chair, Vice Chair, members of the board, all assembled, and my colleagues to my right. We're excited at this opportunity. I'm Julius Hammond, I'm Superintendent of Sussex County Public Schools, who has partnered with all of our regional community colleges and four-year institutions in our region. But more importantly, Richard Bland has been a partner, gosh, even before you came on board when I was in Sussex, prior to Petersburg. We're excited at the opportunity for expansion. Being part of the rural school portion, if you will, my colleagues in Prince George, Dinwiddie, all around, we're in lockstep with Richard Bland College for this initiative. We're excited at the opportunities and the pathways moving forward. And more importantly, not just our dual enrollment options, but the Health Explorers option for our middle schoolers is something that will continue to again showcase what we can offer, what it'll wet the palate, and provide again additional pathways for our young folks to start middle school. So glad to be here.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you for your contribution and the collaboration on the partnership. Are there any other individuals from your community that you'd like to recognize? Please go ahead. If you can stand from where you're at, I believe, gentlemen, is that gonna be adequate for the sound in the room? Do they need to get closer to the microphone?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or should we
I will speak up also.
use your teacher voice?
My
Or
name-
amplification, yeah.
My name is Jesse Vaughn. I'm the Chief Marketing and Communications Officer for Richard Bland College of William and Mary. I just want to assure you that in terms of marketing for this particular project, I want to share with you some of our partners. We have partnerships when we reach our rural areas. We have partnerships with Summit Media, which is 4 radio stations that reaches that area. When we look inside the city, outside the city on the outskirts of Richmond and Petersburg, we use Radio 1, and we have a strong partnership with CBS 6 in Richmond, which is also part of our outreach. And we also have a strong partnership with, we consider one of the top media buying companies in the state, where we reach through social media, Instagram, Facebook, connected TV, where you see on your phones any kind of ads. So what I'm here to say to you is, I just want to reassure you that we will be reaching our community in A+ level as far as marketing. So there should be no concerns about outreach.
Good morning, I'm Christy Clark. I'm the Director of Dual Enrollment and High School Programs at Richard Bland. And I have been there about 2 years. I had a strong background, 25 years in K-12. So I can say that the work on this lab school project has been phenomenal. Our partners are heavily invested. We have a dual enrollment program that is strong, but this will greatly enhance the opportunities for the children in our area. Particularly those in the rural areas, living in the rural area, having children in the rural area. Our students need those opportunities, and not only the dual enrollment opportunities, but all of these summer activities, the weekend opportunities. Right now, our kids don't have a lot of those, but anything we can do to give them more of an opportunity to compete with students from across the state is just going to be fabulous. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here. And I think our project is well sound, and we definitely have the buy-in from our partners. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, I'm Marcina Porterfield, Grants Manager in the Office of Research and Innovation at Richard Bland College. We are very excited to work alongside the Global Academy, our lab school. In the last 18 months, we have obtained approximately $3 million in additional grant funding, so.
Thank you. Anyone else, Dr. Porter?
I believe that's it.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you, ma'am. At this time, I'll go to the committee members for questions that they may have. Mr. Hanson, I'll start with you with the vice president. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your thoughtfulness and presentation of us. This work, it's application. It's very impressive, but also very needed. Look forward to success for your students here in the coming years. Just a couple of technical questions. In terms of the slide you got up there on the number of students and the capacity and the 5 pathway programs. I just wondering if there's more demand or others would be more of a prioritization in the pathway programs, or if not as much for some of them that just drop in or double down on others. Just making sure as the supply and demand kind of matures and just how we can accommodate those programs and students.
We're definitely using an outcome mapping, rapid feedback and assessment approach. So the programs that are successful, that the students actually love and are learning, is the programs that we'll keep, and we will quickly, and actually Richard Bland is known for this. We actually, what do we use? Fail quickly to move in the directions we need to go.
And the only thing I would add is just the customization piece, that we really are, as Dr. Boyd said, going to be in real time assessing. We will build evaluation into every program that is offered. And so we will be assessing, is this working? Is this not working? And making those adjustments in real time.
Another question on your 3 of y'all expanding out to the rural areas, just with the new innovation center, the transportation needs. They're going to be students just intimately aware of just how far the region is likely, just the time and the resources that we need to develop students and school systems.
I hear you, Dr. Hamlin, go ahead.
It's already in place. We're along with the first meeting guidelines. We all partnered with the program, so we need to put it on the some reputation for stores that are partners to the board. We can do that with all friends and family.
In addition, we also added, we received a grant already that adds the mobile marketing and engagement unit. And in our Petersburg partnership, we added 2 additional buses, just in case we have any crossover, those sprinters, or we can get in and drive them ourselves.
And we are literally not even 2 miles from Petersburg High School. So we are very close neighbors.
And we will be providing transportation for our students as we do right now for dual enrollment. So transportation is not an issue.
Mr. Rotherham, do you have any questions?
Oh, yes, thank you. Madam Chair, I have a question. It kind of follows up. I mean, the exciting thing about this is the number of partners you have, and then the number of potential partners, some of the proposed partners that are in there. The risk, though, that I see is you talked about, we're going to evolve this in real time. We're going to evaluate. That's all great, but who's ultimately going to be making those decisions? Because it seems like a complicated governance model. So when you're getting that data back, you're figuring out what's working, what's not working. Who actually holds the decision based on that?
So, how do I answer this? Twofold. One, each of those rapid assessment points are total funding as we talk about sustainability. So use one. One rapid is with Department of Labor, back on track. We're looking at COVID. We're developing a unit there. So since it's all actually focused on sustainability, we also have grants and coordinators in that will help feed the information back to the governing party. But the governing party decides what we keep and what we don't keep, and we keep on with that whole rapid assessment process.
And the governing party, tell me about that. Like, so, I mean, where I'm going is who is ultimately accountable? Ultimately,
Richard Bland College is accountable. In our governing structure, Richard Bland College is assigns who's under our governing structure. We do it lovingly with our partners, but we hold the final responsibilities.
And then, so then the final decision making on this as well. Thank you.
Could I just add that, Dr. Boyd, I know you wanted to talk about, we've got a year in, essentially. You've heard we've got transportation worked out. We have programs that we've been able to secure through grant funding that very much go to this lab school because we believed in it so much. I'm just going to be really honest. We were going to move forward regardless. We just believe there is so much good work to be done and such an impact for the area that we represent and serve. We've already raised, as Dr. Porterfield said, quite a lot of money and already have some of these what I would call base programs already in place. Did
That's actually,
captured
thank
that.
you. And our Office of Research and Innovation actually already started the rapid feedback process. So we're actually pretty good at QR code, getting in, doing the assessments and feeding back the information.
Great, thank you. And if you do have the transportation piece entirely worked out, including the just in time, don't keep that to yourself. I think there's a lot of places around the Commonwealth who would like to have that wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Moran?
Thank you. Hats off to y'all for putting this together. And I do know that a lot of the pieces of the puzzle was obvious both in the proposal as well as just in my knowledge of the schools and that are involved in this, that you've got a lot of pieces that are coming together that have been building over time. This is not a new news. What is new about it is putting it all together so that rather than being separate puzzle pieces, you're putting it into one.
exactly.
So
You got it.
So, and I was looking to see that in the presentation. I did see y'all bring that together for me. There's an area in the curriculum that I really do think deserves some strengthening, and that's the A. You lay this out as STEAM H. And one of the things that I think about when you think about STEAM H is that there are so many different fields that are involved inside the medical community that involve arts, whether it's digital animation, illustration, art therapy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'd love to see that strengthened in the proposal so that it's much clearer that it's not just art visioning for the perspective of the a summer academy, but it is something that's integral to the whole process of kids learning about all the different ways that the arts can play into STEAM H. The other piece that I'm interested in is given the work that you're doing with the work around teacher training that's separate from this with VCU, what I'm really interested in also is that one of the hallmarks of great lab schools is that you have both teachers inside the system getting really good professional learning experiences, and you also have teachers in training that are able to become better first-year teachers as a result of their experiences in the lab school. Could you elaborate a little bit more on how you may be bringing teachers in training into this program?
Absolutely. Thank you for your first comment too about art. 100% agree. We were actually looking at programs for art therapy and using math to actually define art. There's the professors that we've been talking to about those different opportunities as well.
Music to my ears.
So I 100% agree. That's where we'll add some more customizing and double down. To answer your question about the teachers, that's also why we're partnering with William and Mary, the Department of Education. Dr. Finople is working with us to look at how we can advance and stimulate, and our teachers will be able to participate with their teachers in training at William and Mary. And number two, Longwood University will actually work with our teachers through their technology and innovation summer training program. All of our teachers will have the opportunity to participate in that. And that is actually already covered in funding through our National Science Foundation EPIC grant, which is enabling partnerships to increase innovation capacity. So those are two other ways we actually want to build up our teacher component.
Awesome. I really do believe that the lab school should be a destination for every school of education in Virginia to say, how can we get our teachers to get that innovative experience? Because I think it really could elevate the first year experience for teachers going into the profession.
And Dr. Moran, especially as artificial intelligence, as generative AI plays a larger role, this is top of mind for us because teaching is not going to be the same with the addition of that new resource. And so we firmly believe that helping teachers learn how to productively use AI and not just kind of say, keep it out of my classroom. We believe this is an element that will make a huge difference as well.
Absolutely. And then the last comment I'll make, and you've got some friends in the audience that I think will like this comment, and that is that I know that with the state building out the data science standards, that should be something that you also consider as playing into this as well, because it is very much part and parcel of health careers. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Bailey, I'm coming to you, sir. See if you have any questions for Richard Bland.
Yes, wonderful presentation and application. I love what you were just saying too about generative AI. This is something to lean into to help teachers figure out how to use in the classroom, not just something to blog. I think it just so civilizes just everything about your application and embracing the spirit of innovation there. Just a couple of the things that really struck me in the application. I love this idea of connecting some of these program areas to student interests. It is the way I think really to help make some of these subjects that are abstract and very difficult for students to wrap their heads around and make it more exciting. So I just wanted to give you credit for that. Also, I loved the 2 path areas. Often when we see STEM schools, STEM become a little bit of an elite path in school. Like it is for students who already mastered or have like natural interests already in math, science, and technology. And that's great, we meet those. But I love that second pathway, folks that need a little bit more confidence, and often those are some of our most marginalized populations. We see this a lot, that the STEM pipeline, especially with women, when it shows up in college, goes way back to middle school. So the fact that we're building pathway to be very intentional about building confidence, I just wanted to credit you for that, because I think that's going to pay off dividends too. And then lastly, and this goes into just 2 questions I have. You didn't mention it in the presentation, but FAME, you mentioned FAME a couple times, and I had the chance to go visit FAME in Kentucky about 5 years ago with Bruce Reed, who's now a bipartisan working group, who's now President Biden's deputy chief of staff. And we were just struck by just how powerful a manufacturing example that was. So I wondered if you could just maybe go 1 click deeper on just what is the relationships with this program with FAME and the FAME implementation here in Virginia. I have 1 other question.
Do you want to? Yes, sir. So the Federation for Advanced Manufacturing Education Program, we entered into that with CCAM, the Commonwealth Center for Advanced Manufacturing. That program is now in its 3rd year. So we have been meeting to talk about ways to strengthen it, but I couldn't agree with you more that in terms of setting a model, a foundation, an infrastructure, if you will, for getting students from high school into an earn and learn type environment, that's the essence of what it is. So working with those industry partners, and currently we have 8 active industry partners who receive those students as interns. They are not making coffee and copying papers. They are literally doing CNC work. They are doing the work of advanced manufacturing on the job, and they're getting paid. So they work 3 days a week, they go to class 2 days a week. And the great news is they graduate from college debt-free or with very minimal debt. So it's a win-win. Every program in every state is structured a bit differently. So we are currently in conversation with CCAM about ways that we can adjust and improve that delivery. We believe by adding more partners like Brightpoint Community College, who has great lab space. So it really is a CCAM initiative. Richard Bland has offered the programming for 3 years. We've had a number of students go through it, and I will tell you, almost all of them get an offer of full-time employment. And here's the best part. Those salaries are really good salaries. They are high-paying jobs, and they lead to very productive careers. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. No, it's like one of the country's best kept secrets in some ways. And the fact that we have a FAME site in Virginia that you're working and combining that with this lab school model, I think it's just very powerful. One last question. Earlier, the application you talked about in grades 11 and 12, students may have the option of being on campus for a full day or half day. And it was that May that it just struck me, because it sounds like that's a decision that students are going to make. And I just wonder, how would you be giving them some advice and counseling on whether or not they should be on a full day or half day or just stay there?
You want to take that? We'll have Christy Clark take that as our dual enrollment director.
I don't know if you can see me, but
you want to come over here?
I'll come over. So this really goes back to those partnerships and having to work one-on-one with the school and the counselor, that student's counselor, to determine what the best pathway is for that student. But we currently have students that attend with us 11th and 12th grade full-time. We also have some students from some of our other partnering schools that may only come for 1 or 2 courses. So it is going to be whatever the best needs are for that individual student. One size does not fit all. Many kids may choose to be on that associate's pathway, but if they don't, that's okay. It's going to be what it is they need to, because first and foremost, they need to graduate high school. And it's going to be what it is that they need. So maybe the student in the STEM has interest in math, and they may be accelerated in math in school. And we can provide those math opportunities that may not be offered at their school. So it may be what is appropriate for that individual student.
And for that school district.
And for that school district.
So everything is coordinated, sir, with the school district as we decide if students will be on campus, what classes they will take as long as they fit into the standard, and how we move everyone into the enhanced. It is very much a partnership discussion.
Yeah, and I think the only thing I would add is that, again, we have experience in this. So we offer at least 3 different options, and sometimes it's a combination. So there can be online dual enrollment for students who need that option. There can be in-seat in the high school dual enrollment for students for whom that works. And for other students being on the college campus and being sort of treated as a college student is really the best option for them. So May is simply addressing that for us. Again, it's very personalized and customized.
That's great, and it really embraces the customization you were talking about, as opposed to imposing one size fits all dual enrollment. Just trying to determine what works best for the students. So thank you, I appreciate it. Thanks for answering the questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey. Well, first I want to say Dr. Armstrong and I had a delightful visit to your institution. I believe it was back in January. And we met with your entire team, sat for a number of hours, discussed your proposal, what you're doing with MSF and vision. And I want to really compliment you on being responsive to the feedback that was provided in that technical site visits. You've really embraced the focusing in your application. You've developed stronger partnerships, not only with Petersburg, with other school divisions. I see that you have memorandums of understanding attached, as well as letters of support from the superintendents and the school board members. And I've done some diligence, and it appears that you've had good conversations on those school board conversations and the superintendents as well. And certainly a very long and healthy partnership with Petersburg and that's really important in this work, that it be truly collaborative with the school divisions. And as a community college, I think you're really showcasing that community colleges are a natural partner in the lab school endeavor. You work so closely with K-12 schools, you work so closely through dual enrollment, that you have a lot of, just as you stated, experience being accessible and open to secondary students. So I want to thank you for that and acknowledge that your comments have been responsive to the questions that I previously submitted as well. I just have one question real quickly that I wanted to query on, and that's given the number of school divisions that are now potentially involved, please further discuss how your recruitment efforts will be handled across those school divisions, and how will you apportion seats by school division? In some of our other applications, we've seen, Mary Washington probably be a good example. I could name a few others, that there's kind of been an apportionment of how many seats are available per school division. And what's your thinking about that, as that was, it appears to be a work in progress, and as you're working with the school divisions? Just kind of, how are you thinking about making those decisions? Will it be based on local financial contribution? Will it be based on interest from the students themselves, an amalgamation of those two? But what are you kind of thinking?
Sort of a combination of those two, but also in a perfect world, we don't have to turn anyone away. That is why we're also doubling down on grant funds. For example, we know that Sussex is coming next. We already applied for 5 rural student success initiatives with tuition included. So I know that's me putting a hopeful and wishful point into the plan, but I love to stay hopeful and wishful and build around that to look at what's the maximum we can do by the time we're at year 3. I would love for our discussions to be what's the maximum we can do from where we're at that point.
So give me a little more about that, just so it's gonna be open by lottery to all students. So it is on a space available basis. So let's say you have X number of individuals that are going to be participating in dual enrollment during the school year. What are you kind of estimating would be X number and how might you apportion that?
Okay, so 25 students in optional, 75 students in supplemental. The students in supplemental, we'd love to be preparing them to be moving into an optional track. So ideally, by year 3, because that's 100 students that we're actually giving different dual enrollment courses to starting year 1. The 75 in the summer may take 1 class. We're going to take them where they're at. But the 25 that has the stronger ability and moving towards them, they're definitely working towards that associate's degree. By the time we're at year 3, we have agreed already to add in 15 more per other school division. But how that is decided, we actually want to have the governance board with a director over the lab school to be more engaged in making sure we do it thoughtfully and appropriately. And that's still not the best answer, but it's.
And Chair Wodiska, the only other thing I would add is just that in our minds, we are working with Petersburg City to learn as much as we can, to create a model that we can replicate then in the other area schools. And so we do believe that we will learn a lot about capacity, about interest, about optional supplemental, and kind of how we can best educate the students depending on those variables. So I would just say we don't know enough today to really be hard and fast about the numbers, but I will tell you, Dr. Boyd is pretty good at moving mountains. So if she has this vision that she's going to accept them all, I'm not going to doubt her, because she really is so committed to this project and the belief. And I appreciated Mr. Bailey just speaking to the fact that we are trying to do something different here, and we have got a head start on it. And so we are going to learn, and we are going to create a great model in Petersburg, and we are then going to push that out in ways, if I can just again be vague, that maximize the opportunity for every single student.
But if I had to give you a number today, 25 dual, 75 optional, they will be taking dual enrollment classes. By the time the 3rd year, 15 from each of the other school sets will come in as a minimum requirement.
You know, I'm a former school board member.
I knew that.
All right, well, I thank you for being responsive to the question.
And this really helps us, because even with our dual enrollment program right now, we have so many students who apply, but we cannot put them all in there because of our funding, because we pay for it. So this now gives them options that probably all students who apply now will have an opportunity to be in a program. So this is great.
It's a great insight. Thank you. And thank you for being here. It's always so lovely to see you, Mr. Chairman. Very lovely.
Thank you.
All right, well, at this time, hearing a robust conversation and no further questions. And Dr. Armstrong, I'm terribly sorry, but we've enjoyed such a thorough, thoughtful conversation with our applicant that we've neglected to receive a report from you. So let me summarize. Is there anything further that you would like to add for our deliberation?
Madam Chair, thank you. This conversation has illuminated all the aspects of what you're going to proposal. I think this happens.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Armstrong. So is there a motion to approve Richard Bland College lab school application on first and final review and refer it to the Virginia State Board of Education for approval?
So moved.
Thank you, sir. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Mr. Bailey votes aye. Any opposed, state nay. The motion is approved 5-0. Thank you very much for your deliberation. On behalf of the committee, I direct the staff to post a Richard Bland College application for a 10-day public comment period in accordance with the standing committee's procedures, then compile any comments received for review by the Board of Education in May. I also direct staff to finalize a report for the standing committee's comments from today and our endorsement, and to compile that report along with the application and all the additional materials provided, including the updated appendix received by the standing committee, and to refer that to the Board of Education's May meeting. All right, this time we'll proceed with item B, which is first and final review of college partnership laboratory school application from Old Dominion. Thank you very much, Richard Bland.
Thank you so much.
All right, I'm like 10 minutes behind. All right.
Great to see you as well. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Much better times.
This must be the superintendent hot seat for the job.
That's very pleasant.
That's right.
All right. Welcome.
Thank you.
You've heard the routine.
Yeah.
I'm going to truncate my remarks. Please proceed and welcome. And please introduce yourself, the role that you have with either Old Dominion or with the collaborating partner school division.
All right. Good morning, Madam Chair. I'm Dr. John B. Gordon III, proud division superintendent of Suffolk Public Schools. And I have several of our staff members as well as some of our partners on my immediate right is Dr. Caitlin Leitner, our coordinator of science instruction and STEM innovation. We also have Dr. Akima Branch, our chief academic officer for SBS, Dr. Trish Samirsky, who's one of our partners from Old Dominion University. Directly behind her, we have Dr. Jeanette Bird III, our chief of schools. And I see that we have Al Moore, our city manager for Suffolk, as well as Dr. Karen Sanzo from Old Dominion University also. All right. This is an interesting experience because when we first heard about the lab school application, we wanted to try to fit things from a different perspective. And we're really going to focus in on the elementary level. We believe that this might be your first elementary lab school application coming to the entire committee. We chose Booker T. Washington Elementary School, one of our older elementary schools, but also probably one of our most deserving and needy elementary schools based on our socioeconomic status. To us, the entire focus is about access and exposure. And we wanted to continue to expand our existing Project Lead the Way programs that we have in biomedical and engineering in 2 of our 3 high schools, and use aspects of that curriculum that's actually tailored for the elementary level for Booker T. Washington Elementary School. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Akima Branch, our chief academic officer, who will provide additional insights, and of course, we'll be open to more questions at the end.
Good morning and greetings to all of you esteemed members of the committee. We are happy to present the STEM Academy at Booker T. Washington Elementary School, or SABTW, an innovative collaborative initiative between Old Dominion University and Suffolk Public Schools for your consideration. This lab school, as Dr. Gordon has mentioned, embodies an innovative teaching and learning approach and environment centered on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. This morning, we provide you with a high-level overview. You have our application, so we'll highlight many of our main points from our presentation of how our STEM Academy could become a cornerstone for an early elementary academic excellence, experiential learning, and innovative school in support of STEM education. I think that's my slide. Our educational approach for our STEM Academy is both innovative and research supported. In partnership with ODU, we plan to utilize student-led and student-guided learning, STEM integration, and experiential learning to equip students with an awareness, understanding, and practical hands-on use of STEM in our world. STEM Academy is a strategic response to the need for STEM knowledge and skills for tomorrow's workforce and its future. Our mission at the STEM Academy is multifaceted: to inspire and expose STEM to students at a young age, elementary, and prepare them as future leaders and contributors to our society, especially those students, as Dr. Gordon mentioned, who may otherwise not be exposed to STEM and its overwhelming relatedness and importance in our world.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Our vision for this lab school, I'm very excited to share this with you today. As Dr. Gordon mentioned and Dr. Branch, we are starting young. STEM is not a thing, it's thinking. It's the thinking process behind it. And we need our little ones to be engaged in this work at a much younger age, rather than waiting until we get closer to middle school and that high school, trying to figure out what they're going to do with their next steps in their journey. So our mission and vision is to generate 21st century learners at a much younger age before they figure out the course paths that are available for graduation and post-secondary education. Our instructional focus and our innovations is centered around STEM education, as Dr. Branch had mentioned. We will be aligning our curriculum with the Virginia Department of Education Standards of Learning for K through 5. As Dr. Gordon mentioned, we will be utilizing the Project Lead the Way curriculum. That's already curriculum that's embedded within Suffolk Public Schools at the high school level. So our goal is to have a K-12 pipeline for STEM education for our students. In addition to our curriculum work for our youngsters, we are working with Old Dominion University as well for these mentor programs for our student interns at ODU. So rather than the work that occurs with your undergraduate level, bringing those teachers, those potential teachers, into our lab school to be mentors, to observe, to be able to co-teach and co-plan what it's really like to be in K-12 education. That is our goal with working with Old Dominion University. Work that we've done already in regard to professional development, because of course that is essential and needed, is we've started this work last year. We have developed a cohort of 21 individuals who have gone through design thinking training. That training was housed at Old Dominion University. And so we wanted to make sure that they have the capacity and we're ready to be innovative for this curriculum that we plan to establish and put in place. In regard to our enrollment projections, we are looking at kindergarten through 5th grade, 20 students per level, which would give us 120 students within our lab school at Booker T. Washington. So a day in the life of a lab school student here at Booker T. Washington. This might look like a traditional schedule, so I'm going to talk through what you may see. Hopefully you will come and visit us. Kindergarten class obviously will look a little bit different than a 5th grade class. You might be seeing students in our podcasting room, making a podcast to be able to share with Dr. Gordon, potentially our school board, city council, on changes based on a problem that they have found in our local community. Potentially, you might be seeing students with our 3D printers, printing something in regard to their prototypes. I'll give an example for a 3rd grade classroom that you might see as they go through their design thinking model. Let's say they are posed with the challenge that they are to create a more eco-friendly playground that is inclusive of all students as well as those in the community. Whether you are on crutches due to a broken leg from a sporting event or in a wheelchair, our students noticed the problem that we need a more inclusive playground. For English, they'll be researching what that entails, what equipment is needed for this. For that writing component, they're going to be writing a proposal so that this can be put in place to our school board and local city council. Math, they might be diving into your geometry facts here, or even budgeting, getting into decimals. They need a budget to be able to purchase the equipment needed. Science, of course, that's your STEM. So they'll be prototyping and designing the new playground for the local community. Social studies, they'll need to do a little bit of research on our community, the settlement in which we live on. They need to look at plans and be able to figure out our next steps for that. The resource classes, of course, we'll be able to put it all together with our makerspace and our STEM lab, using computer science for coding and having plans set in stone for their day. Here is a graphic of our instructional focus here, of course, with the STEM content being the lead course, having all discipline areas embedded within their day-to-day instruction.
Students will be posed with real world problems. So not just building up the straws that can be problem solves, but going outside, looking at their local community, realizing where do we need adjustments and improvements here to be productive citizens. They'll be going through that engineering design challenge, design thinking process. That's teaching them the empathy phase. Who is your audience that we need to create this potential solution for? They'll go through the designing, the ideating, and just like any occupation, there's always retest. After seeing what your results are, we might have to change our plan, retest, and revise. So the skills that we're teaching students aren't just the Virginia Standards of Learning, it's the design thinking, but it's what they'll experience when they get a real job of how that process is and how that process works. So with this instructional focus, we truly believe we are building 21st century learners that will be equipped for tomorrow's workforce. Thank you.
So with our research model, we use a design-based research approach that, in addition to what you see here and the focus on teacher training that Caitlin talked about, we will be integrating public school teachers, Old Dominion faculty, and business and industry experts and others in the design and testing and evaluation of our practices and our innovation. And that's really important because that gives us some, again, in real time, we've heard that before, ability to for continuous improvement and also to continue to engage our key stakeholders in the evolution of what we're trying to build, and this would lead to our sustainability, which I'll talk a little bit more about soon. We couldn't do this without our partners. These are some listed here, and this will continue to grow. We also have several partners on Zoom who you may hear from in a little while. But one of the things that I wanted to note that's particularly exciting for me, especially as a newcomer, is that about a year ago, unbeknownst to all of us sitting in this room today talking about lab schools, is that Suffolk Public Schools in Old Dominion began a conversation about just simply ways that we would work together. And that evolved into taking a look at and visiting the classrooms for Project Lead the Way, where students are immersed in real world problem solving. And we took that project and we created at ODU a series of workshops focused on manufacturing, advanced manufacturing, and also biomedical fields, along with an additional partner, which is listed up here, the Hampton Roads Biomedical Research Consortium. So the three of us since February have been offering a series of workshops at ODU to extend the Project Lead the Way curriculum. And in the morning when the students come, and it's a class of 11th graders, they come several times a month, and they are engaged in a lab, in a 3D lab with demonstration. And then they follow that with a dialogue with key industry experts and ODU faculty who are actually in the field where they're hearing about these demonstrations. So because of this success, we already have two programs in the making for next year. In addition to that, and this really speaks again to the deepened relationship we have with Suffolk Public Schools, is that we have art exhibits offered, and some of them are jewelry that will lead to events for the community, parents, students, ODU constituents that really celebrates these budding young artists K through 12 throughout the school district, which is really wonderful. Again, already in the making our plans for the next couple of years. We also plan to continue our relationship with Hampton Roads Workforce Council and others, and really staying in tune with what the key issues and needs are with STEM education and STEM initiatives within the region. I also have to mention here that with our ODU's UG undergraduate STEM program, and it is our Monarch Teach. This is a program where students, future STEM teachers are involved in different types of field experiences and internships, and they will be part of it. So I think that's a critical partnership in all of this.
our sustainability plan. As I mentioned earlier, all these relationships are really important to our sustainability. And in this, we'll leverage what we're developing as our STEM regional ecosystem. We'll continue to pursue grants. We do have some base funding that is embedded in our application, and we have institutional commitment for both. But what I really want to focus on here is the involvement of our development office. Because I think here is where we have a really wonderful opportunity to celebrate and emphasize the wonderful things that are happening, as mentioned, at a very young age with the STEM Academy of Booker T. Washington, but also with our other lab schools. We have a golden opportunity here within these ODU lab schools to work together to celebrate and focus on the individual aspects of the 3 different lab schools, but also ways that we can leverage the differences and other types of work that we're doing within them. So when we talk about creating a really kind of a web or a network and a comprehensive development fundraising campaign, I think it's important to look at not just one individual lab school, but all 3, because I think that's so much a part of our thinking in moving forward. We also will continue to include ODU STEM initiatives, both with our faculty and our students, and involve different committees in that work. This is not moving.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, so this illustrative itemized budget really speaks to some of the base funding that we have, and it is part of the application. This is just here as a snapshot to show you that we have really been working on this. And again, unbeknownst to us, I've done a lot of the work involved with that, really knowing that we'd be sitting here today. So this provides a snapshot. Yeah. There we go. So in conclusion, we appreciate the opportunity to be here today. But again, I just want to mention that this wonderful STEM Academy of Booker T. Washington is a way to reach children at a very young age and expose them to STEM, because STEM is everywhere. And it also is as a continuum with the rest of the lab schools and the network that we're building around this to really grow and move together. And I'm just, as a newcomer, very excited to be part of this team, because I feel like so much work has been done already. I just know that this is a very committed, eager, connected team to be part of this. Thank you so much. Thank you. Are there any other individuals that would like to speak to your application that are here with you today? Sir, would you like to say anything? I know we haven't, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. This is not one of those infamous school board meetings where, oh my God, you just got called down. It's if you would like to, sir.
Sure, I'll just take a few moments just to kind of summarize what you've heard today. Really excited about this progress program. As Tish mentioned earlier, we have a very close relationship with Old Dominion University, excuse me. And at least since 2011, we've been working very closely with Dr. Sandra but culminating, event this year and next year is a capstone project where our seniors are going to share their ideas for changing the world. But what's really unique about our process is that it gets them ready at an early age. My twins are certainly in the Project Leadway program, and one of the reasons is that I'm aware as a parent, and so I can start parenting at an early age. Our lab school is located, as Dr. Gordon mentioned, in one of our lowest socioeconomic areas, right in the heart center of Suffolk. And so we're looking forward to grabbing those students at a very early age, teaching them to think big and think differently about the world. And then we already have the programs in place so they get to see it. Really excited.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Gordon, is there anyone else on your team that you want to make sure that has an opportunity to speak to the application?
Yeah, I'm not sure if Dr. Sandra wants to add any additional comments right now, and she was one of our early.
Okay, certainly. Greetings, Dr. Sanzo. Lovely to see you again.
Hey, good, I think it's still good morning. Good morning. It's really nice to see all of you as well, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak to this as well. I don't know if I'm repeating anything Dr. Bird said. It's a little bit difficult to hear, but just I want to emphasize the long-standing partnership and nature of this proposal. We have a leadership preparation cohort that's underway with Suffolk Public Schools, bringing in the educator prep component of it, bringing in the professional development of the existing teachers, and really looking at, I would say, the uniqueness that it is with Suffolk Public Schools, but also building the ultimate in university lab school network. And as we spoke before, this idea of connection and collaboration and community, and we think that having that, and again, of course, modeling after our experiences at UTSA and seeing how they have that lab school network and the robustness of which they've been able to lead the program, we feel will help it be very successful. And also just the uniqueness that comes with having the elementary piece of it, we think will also add to that as well. One of the other pieces that I think helps from the educator preparation component is we're allowing, we're bringing in more educator preparation venue options for our students at the institution. So now we have students who can go into elementary, go into middle school, go into high school with these different experiences. And I think that that will also make it much stronger as well overall. So just appreciate the opportunity and the partnership. And we have one more partner here as well to speak to that, if that's okay with Christina Brooks.
Ms. Brooks?
Morning, everybody. Hi, I'm Christina Brooks with the Young Learners Workforce Council. I just want to say thank you so much for considering this application. It is a critical component of our STEM talent pipeline. And actually, I'm strategy session right now to propose how to bolster our IT, healthcare, infrastructure, and maritime pipelines in our region. And this lab school is going to be a critical component to being able to develop the skills that we need. So I just want to say thank you so much, and look forward to hearing some good news here in the next.
Thank you, Ms. Brooks and Dr. Sanzo. At this time, I'm going to go to Mr. Rotherham.
Hi, thank you. This is a very exciting proposal. I just have one clarifying question. You guys are working formally with Project Lead the Way, is that correct?
We are a Project Lead the Way division awarded and recognized nationally for our 2 teachers. We have biomedical as well as engineering at 2 of our high schools.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and recuse on this one then, because they're a client of Bellwethers. I didn't see that in the application, so, but it's exciting to read nothing else into that, then it wouldn't be appropriate for me to consider this one.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rod.
I don't know whether we wanted to get his input.
Oh, certainly.
City manager.
Oh,
City
of
manager.
course.
Yeah, that's good.
Mr. City Manager, my apologies, sir. Thank you for being here. We would welcome comments from you on this application.
Well, thank you for the opportunity this morning to call you.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Of course, I am city manager for the city of Suffolk, and I have a lot of interest in assessing this program and allows me to see for several reasons. Of course, the city manager in support of the local public school system, I believe this joint program between Suffolk Public Schools and Old Dominion provides a fantastic opportunity for our younger disadvantaged students here in Suffolk. It will allow them to become more involved in the sciences, technology, engineering, and mathematics fields at an early stage, which will be beneficial in the long term. I'll explain why I did it this way. I am in 1981, I just aged myself, but I am in 1981 graduate of Old Dominion Civil Engineering Technology program, and that laid the foundation for my. Prior to my term as city manager, I had the privilege of working in the public utility sector for municipal government for 36 years as a licensed engineer. In 25 of those years, I was a director of public utilities, so I knew personally there's a lack of qualified applicants for engineering and technology fields, and a lack of diversity within those fields, which I think all comes together part of what we're talking here, reaching out into the community where we need to develop that pipeline. The lab in Washington will be an asset developing the STEM fields and systems overcoming the existing deficiencies I just spoke to. And the city of Suffolk currently supports this program and requests a standing committee for a favorable decision on that. And to me, this is exciting. I just for moving ahead. Not important. I should have a lot of conversations, and I'm sure we'll have some on this in the future. But I want to thank you for the opportunity. to provide input and to show us some support for this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for your support of school divisions in your area and for your partnership and collaboration on this endeavor as well. Mr. Hanson, I see you making copious notes, so I sense you're ready with a question or a comment.
Thank you. It's a very exciting proposal. I love the elementary school focus and just love the thoughtfulness and helping us look at something a little bit differently here. So thank you. I don't have a conflict with Project Midway, but I'm a big fan, and I've spent a lot of my professional years working partner and also just congratulations on your partnership and your relationship. It's obviously a recognition of your effectiveness and what you're doing. So I just have maybe a couple of mechanical questions and just trying to get my head around how you envision a cohort of students coming in, and will they be progressing from grades K through 5, or will it be on ramps, off ramps of students, depending on kind of where they're falling in STEM opportunities? Then I have a follow-up question to that.
We do envision this to be a cohort of students. And as with any enrollment, as students transition, there may be some spots for others. We will have, through the lottery system, a wait list, so those students can be added in. We want this cohort to help us expand the STEM Academy to be a STEM school eventually. So we're looking at this cohort, which will be responsible and take the SOL test and everything else that is required throughout for Virginia. But these students will be identified based on the unique instruction that they will be provided. And we will use that to expand our programming. Continuing it to the middle school is the goal. And then on to our Project Lead the Way focus at the high school.
And then my pathway question, but just on the measuring success as well, just both in terms of the academic achievement, but also the growth of the program, just maybe a couple of success indicators until we look at that.
We will be looking at, because this will be a cohort model, these students will test and be responsible for everything else that is assessed. However, we want to identify what we did specifically to engage their learning, to increase achievement scores. Their scores will be included with the students, but we will be able to identify whether those students and our design model, our design thinking model, had a great impact. So there will be many milestone measures throughout. We do that now in a 9-week setting, a 9-week time frame for our students across the board. This will be a little bit more because we'll be building in more of a STEM focus across the board. They still will be integrated into our normal programming as far as resources, etc. But the focus for the Lab Academy is the STEM, and those students will be monitored and assessed.
Do you mind if I add?
Sure.
In addition to the assessments, the entry-level surveys, we want to hear from the students as well coming in and their progression throughout. So we'll have measures to be able to achieve that, but also through the performance-based learning, there already are rubrics set in place that we plan to utilize in addition to the standardized testing measure. So lots of different measures to be able to get the student interest piece. It's a continuum throughout the school year. They'll be able to see their own personal growth just within the STEM field and those learning abilities in addition to our assessments.
Dr. Moran? Yeah, thank you. You answered some of the questions I had, particularly the one, and it's probably above your pay grade, but the one about how do you really braid together these 3 separate schools or school lab schools, because you have Suffolk, you've got Newport News, and you've got Chesapeake. Very different constituencies, but all kind of situated together. And so I appreciated you saying that y'all are going to look at that as a more integrated model for sustainability. One of the questions I had, and it may speak a little bit to Dr. Gordon being here, but one of the things that I noticed when I was looking at the quality profile on Booker T. Washington is you have about 340 some students there. And so if this is a success, what does it leave the kids that are not getting this dream big STEM Academy experience? John, tell me what your thinking is.
So that's a great insight by you, Dr. Moran, because Booker T. Washington is our smallest elementary school. It's also part of the reason why we chose that school. So our goal is to be able to increase the enrollment there. And as Dr. Branch said, we want to start out with a whole world with STEM Academy for 120 students, basically 20 students per grade level. But the end result is to have a full STEM school where we have 450 to 460 students that are following the pilot model that we started at the STEM Academy. And then later on in life, we may be coming back to you all. We're going to be able to expand this to middle school level so that we have a direct pipeline into both of our Project Leading Way programs, as well as some of the other concepts we're seeing for our advanced placement courses and our international baccalaureate way program. There are some similarities what we're seeing when it comes to project-based learning. And our Project Leading Way programs, we just got another email today, as Dr. Branch said, and actually recognized that for both programs. I believe this is the 18th year in a row. So that's part of the reason why we chose that curriculum, why we want to be able to partner with that. Also because we can already speak to the end result in mind from our high school teachers who will be able to provide some insight into some of the things they would need for the kids to be successful with both math and science.
If I could add, also with the project that we have, already played with that. We do have the teachers from Suffolk Public Schools presenting with our ODU staff on that relationship. And I think they're going this summer to a conference in California to do that. And I think they have another one like that. So it's really exciting. So we did not know that a year ago when we started that work. So it's really exciting to see.
My second quick question is that I know that you really spoke to having internships from students at ODU, teachers in training, so to speak. Do you see an even deeper level of focus for student teachers being woven in, not just in the intern piece, but in general?
Yes, I know Dr. Sanzo might want to speak to this as well, but that's very much a part of our plan. And we're very open to how that might look as we move forward with our planning and integration of all those stakeholders that I mentioned earlier. But yes, and those STEM prepared, it's a long word, but the STEM prepared teachers that are now candidates are involved in a lot of these activities and innovations throughout the curriculum as they're enrolled.
Okay.
So we look forward to deepening that in whatever way we need to as we get this input moving forward.
I was able to attend the International Association Lab School Conference this past month. So gained a lot of knowledge in relation to that question that you just posed.
The other.
Yeah, Ms. Sanzo, I think you wanted to be responsive to Dr. Moran's first question. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, and these are great questions. And so I want to say a couple things. One is when we presented to the Board of Ed, and I would ask the same of you all. So this is new for all of us. As we move forward and we're creating this research plan, we have our questions that we're asking. But if there are specific questions that you all want to ensure that we're building into our research model, that we're building into the program evaluation, these are going to be more successful if we can get those curious questions and build them in. The reason why Dr. Zemurski is presenting here is we're also recognize the very real issue of capacity and understanding the ways in which we can manage personnel and capacity at the institution. So the Institute for Design Thinking and Leadership Development will continue to provide support, overarching coordination across phase 3. As we look forward towards year 5 with sustainability, we imagine that we are more and more streamlining internal services as we get to become more familiar with the ins and outs and nuances of what each of the schools require in terms of management, leadership, resources. Your question, to your point here, with the teacher education piece of it, the College of Education has already created a director of strategic partnership position, and a portion of that person's line is allocated specifically towards the 3 lab schools and looking at ways that we can integrate the teacher education. But to your point, I'm a former middle school math teacher, and we lose so many people in that student teaching phase because they're not in there from the early stages. And so looking at ways that we can have students integrated into the early phases of lab school is really important for us. One of the other pieces that we've been doing at ONU is looking at IT, and I can't remember if I spoke to you all about this or the board at First Crossing. We have cybersecurity interns, we have computer science interns, we have those individuals in the STEM fields, and we've been convincing them that teacher education is also a viable track. So our hope is that we also not only have these teachers, the formal declared teacher educators coming into these three schools, but we're also integrating the early part of their education, because at OU, everybody is supposed to have internship and work-based experiences, of course, in the state now. And so also having our cybersecurity STEM students, CS coming in, and then getting them to come into the education field, looking at the ways in which we can provide them these teacher education courses too. So long-term hope is we have individuals graduating in computer science, but also how do we get them that dual certification in teaching? So we have industry professionals that are certified. So it's not just those early teacher experiences, but also for the STEM field as well. I hope that answers a part of the question. That's part of our long-term vision. We've already started that really this past year at First Crossing and getting those interns in and kind of beta testing what that would look like. We had kindergartners in last week, so that was really fun to watch the cybersecurity working with kindergartners, and then we're testing that out this summer as well with our interns.
Thank you, Dr. Sampson. So, do you have anything more, Dr. Ray? That's okay. Mr. Bailey, bring us home. And then I'll come to myself.
I wish I could see the kindergartens with cybersecurity. That would have been, actually, it's my. Just one building on my comments of the last application, again, I just so appreciate going early instead. That in this focus on elementary, it just feels so important. I think we all know, research to show us that we have a lot of students that start opting out of student pathways because they feel like they're not gifted. They're not gifted in math, they're not gifted in science. It's kind of the only subjects where we allow them thinking to be proud of. Like we never say students are just gifted at reading. We're like, kids are going to be good at reading. Kids are going to be good at writing. We're going to teach that. So the fact you're engaging these kids so early, I think is so important and going to be vital for this pipeline. The one thing I just wish you could click one step deeper, because it really jumped out at me, was you had a whole section in your application about research, the idea of there be institutional, educator, student level research. And that just felt different. It felt different than a lot of things we've seen, and it just feels like that can be pretty powerful in terms of both helping people begin to develop that muscle. What does it mean to come up with a research study, pitch it, and get it funded, and then do it and execute it and publish it? But could you just click a little bit deeper about how that be executed? And do you have a sense of what kind of research projects would come out of them?
Sure. I mean, yes, you're welcome to come to our meeting next Wednesday. As we're framing things out even deeper, we have discussed as a team that we're taking a design-based research approach. So DBR typically is in around curriculum and instruction, but we're doing it out to look at it holistically with the organization level as well. And so we are planning on using both our program evaluation model as a mechanism through which we can also engage in research at kind of broader lab school components, and then zooming in as we engage in professional development with teachers. We really want to dive into so actually it's just more teacher-based, that design-based research where faculty and teachers are identifying through PDSA model processes. So what do they want to plan to do? What are they studying? How are they predicting the outcomes for their instruction? And really modeling that PDSA process. We want to get the teachers comfortable, the administrators comfortable first. And I think this speaks deeper to the question of what's it look like when you have this kind of quote school within a school. It's not as though the lab school teachers are the holders of all knowledge and it's a secret. We want study the ways in which these ancillary benefits of having these lab schools embedded within the schools, within a broader school system. So to study how that, the lessons of instruction and teaching innovations are dispersed throughout. But having our teachers engage in that action research, more broader DVR model, we want to get them integrated into AERA, so American Educational Research Association, getting them immersed in the vernacular field, upskilling them around research, having administrators a part of it. And then as we think about the design thinking process, leveraging that as a mechanism through which we can have students articulate their research. So what is the why? Getting down into the root causes, asking those how might be questions, and then helping students make that shift from how might be to really these deeper level research questions that we want them to articulate. Because we know kindergartners can do this up to seniors, and then we would like to have, so this is for the seniors, and we can see this happening in Suffolk because we have our teacher aspiring rising educators coming in. What do they want to learn about instructional practice? What are their hypotheses when they come in and they are teaching these lessons? And so we want to have researchers involved, we want to have teachers involved, we want to have students involved. One of the plans probably around year 1 or 2 of the implementation is to have these mini grants that are taken from some of those lab school funds we're able to acquire, and incentivizing our teachers, our researchers, and students to partner collaboratively around researching these pressing problems in practice. And this is where our partners, industry leaders, our government officials coming in with these signature questions. These are social problems that we want you to study and learn and understand. These are problems technological in the field, and create solutions, and then to be able to present them in those pitches, to have these expositions of learning annually. It would be our hope that we will transition to a place where parents will come in and be able to hear about this research, but also disseminate it more broadly on the national scale. As Caitlin mentioned, going to IALS, and it was such an amazing experience to go to IALS in Vancouver and to hear the students themselves present their research projects. And that was part of kind of what made it click for us when we went out as a team. And I'm glad that now it's not being able to go. And we want, I'm going to bring camp into this as well, as a region, to be able to be a host site for IALS in the future to show these signature lab school experiences. Does that answer your question around research? That was a lot. Sorry. Ask me a question.
No, it's really passionate. Thank you.
Mr. Bailey, any questions? Thank you, Mr. Bailey, and thank you, Dr. Sanzo. So I just have one comment really for your application. You know, I have been incredibly impressed with the quality of the applications coming from ODU. I'll be the first to say, when I heard that there were 3 applications from ODU, it caught my attention. Curiosity of how possibly could one institution have 3 applications. The interaction that you've had with IALS is evident. All 3 applications, this application in particular as well, hits all 3 elements that uniquely define a lab school. First, you have invested in educators. You have educators rising. You are intentionally thinking about high quality professional development for educators in the Commonwealth. That is item number 1. Item number 2, you have deeper learning for students in a variety of formats. And number 3, as Dr. Sanzo has just eloquently, and I love your enthusiasm, Dr. Sanzo, outlined an element of research to not only research and evaluate, which is a very important consideration in this work, evaluate your own work, but to share your learnings with others to improve the practice of research more broadly within the education field. Those are the 3 elements that uniquely define a lab school. And without question, you have all 3. And the evidence for that comes through in your application, it comes through in our conversation and the deliberation. I want to thank you for that engagement. It's nice to have those exemplars out there. So thank you.
Thank you.
Without further ado, at this time, is there a motion to approve ODU Suffolk's lab school application on first and final review and to refer this to the Virginia State Board of Education for approval and consideration in May? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by stating aye.
Aye.
The chair votes aye as well. Mr. Bailey votes aye. Any abstentions?
Abstain.
Abstain. The motion is approved 4-0 with 1 abstention. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. At this time, on behalf of the committee, I direct the staff to post the Old Dominion University's application for a 10-day public comment period in accordance with the standing committee's procedures and compile any comments received for review by the Board of Education in May. I also direct the staff to finalize a report for the standing committee's comments from today and our endorsement and compile that report along with the application and all additional material received by the standing committee, as well as additional items added to the appendix, and refer that to the Board of Education in May. Okay, now we can do handshakes. All right.
Thank you.
Sorry. We gotta go going down the list. Thank you. I know I can best try to try that.
Yeah.
All right, well, welcome. Welcome.
How are you?
Glad to see you. At this time, the committee is taking up item C, which is first and final review of the College Partnership Lab School application from George Mason University. Good afternoon and welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning. So I just saw Superintendent Coons here, and wanted to wish you thank you for being here. And of course, the distinguished members of the standing committee, thank you for inviting us to this opportunity. And this is the Superintendent Strong for all the help through this space. The Shenandoah Valley Rural Regional College Partnership Laboratory Schools that will focus on a specific theme: data science, computing, and applications. And we have acronymed it as DSCA all over the application. It will be led by George Mason University, and there's a collaborative project with 7 partner school districts and 1 governor school in the Shenandoah Valley, with Frederick County as the lead K-12 partner. The 7 partner rural, I just want to move the slide here. Yes, okay. The 7 partner rural and rural fringe school divisions include Clark County, Fauquier County, Frederick County, Page County, Shenandoah County, Warren County, and Winchester City, and the Governor School at Mountain Vista. Now, GMU will also leverage the expertise from faculty in the GMU College of Science, GMU College of Engineering and Computing, the Complete Center, which I direct, which is a joint center between the College of Science and College of Education and Human Development, the GMU Smithsonian Mason School of Conservation, SMSC as we have acronymed it, and Laurel Ridge Community College to engage students and teachers in this GMU Data Science, Computing, and Applications Lab Schools with Frederick. My name is Padhu Seshaya, and I am a professor and director at George Mason University, and have served in multiple leadership positions, including the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, the Director of the STEM Accelerator Program, and the Director of the Center for Outreach in Mathematics, Professional Learning, and Education Technology, which is the joint center between 2 colleges. And I've also served the past 4 years as the Virginia Data Science Higher Ed Lead on standards writing and implementation teams for the new high school data science class. And
good morning. And my name is Deb Crawford. I'm Supervisor of Mathematics and World Language in Frederick County Public Schools. And I'm an instructor at George Mason University in the Math Center. I co-lead the Shenandoah Valley Computer Science Regional Partnership, which, as Padhu said, is comprised of 11 partners, including 7 school divisions, 3 higher ed, and a governor's school. And that partnership really spawned the roots of this lab school. Additionally, I've also served for the past 4 years as the K-12 data science lead with the course development of the new data science course and the implementation cohorts. And that piece has triggered the role of this data science and computing applications lab school as a teacher hub for professional learning for teachers.
And also, both of us bring a lot of experience to help build this college partnership lab school. Dr. Crawford has served on the original advisory board to create the Mountain Vista Governor School, which still operates and is a part of the Shenandoah Valley Regional Computer Science Partnership. And as the Associate Dean of College of Science, few years back, I have helped with the Governor School at Innovation Park, which is a partial academic year Governor School program with focus on STEM disciplines serving Manassas City, Manassas Park, and Prince William County. Yes.
So the lab school will be a data-focused school offering an emphasis on advancing data science, computing, and applications through innovative research and education. The proposed lab school will help build on successful best practices these regional partners have already established through 8 different projects across 3 VDOE Advancing Computer Science Education grants that helped enhance this regional partnership. We were able to develop a micropilot lab school over the past 3 years, and that component allowed high school students over those school years to engage in capstone projects, earning college credits at George Mason University in the area of data science, computing, and applications. Those projects will be replicated in the lab school for all students. So all students do research in the lab school. In another exciting related project, Dr. Seshire and I helped to serve on the respective K-12 and higher ed leads in terms of the creation of the new data science course and implementation for the Commonwealth, which is now taught by about 50 high school teachers. And this is new. These teachers need professional learning in data science and computing in the age of AI. And Virginia is the first state to have its own data science standards of learning that were approved by the Board of Education in April of 2022.
And this exciting data science course, we are going to be running the 3rd institute this summer. And within a week, we had 100 teachers.
100 teachers.
We don't have a math. We don't have a data science teacher. We have math teachers, CTE teachers who are all excited to teach this class. So the lab school in particular, slide, yes. Oh, sorry, it's the minutes. The lab school, it actually employs a hub and spoke model that will be led by GMU working with VDOE and Frederick County Public Schools as the hub, where the physical lab school will be located. And along with lab school opportunities provided through the George Mason University Smithsonian Mason School for Conservation and Laurel Ridge Community College. And the SMSC is located in the Front Royal campus for students, teachers, and parents from all partnering divisions, and they serve as the spokes. And Double J Howard Center, which is in Frederick County, our principal is right here, serves as a specialized educational facility offering a variety of programs and services to meet the diverse needs of students in Frederick County area by committing to a non-traditional process for earning various credentials that can include a high school diploma as well. Let me just move the slide. Yeah, okay. So data and
Back one.
it goes fast. Backwards. Make sure it stands there. Okay. So data and computing provides a significant competitive advantage in today's society. With the need to expand the talent pool to address workforce needs. I serve on the Virginia Workforce Development Board with Secretary Slater, and we need to create new programs designed to help students add this data science, computing, and applications expertise to their skill set. Also with Governor Youngkin's recent executive order on artificial intelligence, which was issued in January, Executive Order 30, the need to prepare the next generation workforce in the Commonwealth on opportunities presented by AI innovations from data science and computing, now it becomes even more important. And recently, just last month, the National Council for Teachers in Mathematics released a position statement that I had the honor to serve on as an author, where saying that data science as a high school mathematics course that can be used for credit towards graduation.
So why rural? Rural and rural fringe divisions, such as those in the Shenandoah Valley, are often overlooked in terms of these opportunities, and yet they are part of the American education system, 10 million strong, about 1 in every 5 students nationally. And so we are excited and proud to bring data science and computing applications to the Valley. Targeted facilities investment at Dow J. Howard, such as, the data hub that will be established there, an industry standard hub for students to learn and grow in and develop that skill set for the workforce, could pay dividends in improving rural education in our area. The proposed school will also help to equip the teachers with design learning experiences that fits their needs and in terms of also their students through this lab school as a teacher hub. And all of our partnering divisions would have the teacher professional learning part of this grant through project-based learning experiences in the lab school.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, there. Let me just, okay. The lab school actually, as Dr. Crawford mentioned, okay, thank you. The lab school, it'll be hosted physically at Dow J. Howard Center in Frederick County Public Schools. It'll serve students each year as a full lab school. The lab school students and the partner division faculty will also have the opportunity to take dual enrollment coursework and professional learning opportunities through the regional higher ed partners, including GMU Smithsonian Conservation Center and Laurel Ridge Community College. And the proposed school will serve 50 students from grades 10, 11, 12, who will have the opportunity to engage in data science, computing, and applications through 5 common experiences, which aligns with foundational competencies by the National Academy of Engineering. And these include like an interdisciplinary coursework experience, research and creative experience, design thinking. I teach design thinking, so I was excited to hear design thinking, the last presentation, and entrepreneurship experience, work-based learning experience, and global and multicultural experience. And all students will have the opportunity to earn directed online data analytics focused certification through companies such as Google, Amazon, and many more. And students in the lab school will also have the opportunity to earn an associate's degree from Laurel Ridge Community College and college credit from George Mason University and industry certifications from partnering organizations.
And on the teacher hub side, one of the novel innovations by the proposed lab school will be the development of digital badges and micro-credentials in data science and computing for our teachers in the Commonwealth. And also, these leadership and teaching badges and micro-credentials will be developed in conjunction with George Mason University and Laurel Ridge. These will serve as tangible evidence of the skills that the teachers are earning. And it's exciting because they are cost effective and possibly more efficient than what we've done before with professional learning. And most importantly, they can be customizable, accessible, and stackable for teachers. Both Dr. Seshire and I have experience working with micro-credentials through VASCD, the Virginia Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development. We developed micro-credentials for data science around inquiry-based learning in data science and community partners, using community partnerships for data sets and problems for kids to solve. So up here, you'll see the day in the life of a data science student. And what you see here just briefly are sample schedules for our 11th and 12th graders within the industry-aligned data hub, kind of serving as the center. Note that travel to and from the lab school from the base schools allows the opportunity for lab school students to engage in after-school clubs and sports and be connected to their base school. The schedule shows also how 2 elective periods per day allow for customizable workforce learning options, graduation requirements, both for advanced studies for some, advanced studies, associate's degree for others, and advanced studies for some, and university research for all. So that university research with university mentors is for all of the kids. And these mentors will be from the Smithsonian Mason School of Conservation, also George Mason University, Laurel Ridge, and so forth. And so when we look at their schedule, you see base learning electives allow for 3 pathways. One is the certification. And so having that valuable certification school to work is one. Another one is research, university research, all students. And the third is that opportunity for an associate's degree.
Might I stop you here just one moment?
Yes.
I know that one of our committee members has to leave, but I know that he's very interested in your application. I'd like to recognize Mr. Rotherham.
Yes.
Thank you. I apologize. The job that pays the bills. I'm really excited about this. A couple of things. First of all, again, Mason and you all before us. Before the state board, our last meeting, the last group at our meeting prior to this one, I just want to commend you for your leadership on this. I'm also really excited that the counties that you're choosing to serve, they are counties which are often overlooked and left out of the conversation. So counties like Page, Shenandoah, and so forth. That's extremely exciting. And then finally, the research opportunities. My daughter was able to do research while she was in high school, do research at George Mason through a program. But then that was absolutely tremendous for her academically, opened up some opportunities for her that are going to help carry her to college. So that's sort of what you're doing. I think it's absolutely.
By any chance, this is the ASIP program?
No,
Okay.
it was Youth Leadership.
Youth leader, yeah, it's fantastic.
Presented on the day, all right.
Okay.
Just really cool. And so I just think like what you're doing for young people both geographically and in terms of the opportunities you created is just fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for indulging us.
Could we go?
Please.
Thank you very much. Thanks
Yep.
for
Thank you,
those
Mr.
comments.
Ross.
So one of the very unique things is because we have spent a lot of time developing the high school data science class, students in the lab school will have the opportunity to engage throughout the curriculum, what we call as no code, low code, and high code experiences. So the primary difference is in the level of coding expertise needed. So the degree of customization and control offered and the target audience. So no code environments will allow students with limited or no programming experience to create functional applications using pre-built components, and low code development experience will provide visual interfaces, pre-built components to enable students to create applications with minimal hand coding. And the high code will expect some writing software from scratch using traditional programming languages.
And so this illustration indicates the various project activities and milestones that are being proposed for various stakeholders, including leadership from all partner divisions, students in 10th, 11th, and 12th grades, as well as teacher and parent opportunities. The program activities are color-coded to be either curricular that offer college course credit opportunities, research that offer college course credit opportunity to do research on data and computing, and careers. So those offer coursework on college success skills, teacher professional development through continuing ed, and annual Virginia high school data science and computing to enhance the pedagogical practices for teachers, upskilling and reskilling our teachers. One cool thing, our outreach includes Super Data Saturdays for our students. This will attract students and teachers and parents to wanting to go to the lab school. And so those Super Data Saturdays will be open to our community, students and parents. They'll be held at the Smithsonian Mason campus. And so community-based will include parent information sessions on the state-of-the-art developments in the lab school, get their input to enhance the curriculum with community-based projects, competitions, which we're already involved in with our regional partnership, which will allow students to participate in regional and national competitions, and then workforce elective, where students will have the opportunity to earn additional certifications, apprenticeship opportunities, and internship opportunities and involvement with the Shenandoah Workforce Development.
And in the last 4 years, we've been working together through advancing computer science education grants from the Department of Education. And it was first focused on teachers, but then it evolved into bringing students from their classes. And this is how this whole vision started. So there is also a roadmap for teachers as designers and learners here.
And I'll be brief due to time, but this roadmap shows teachers as designers and learners within the lab school environment. And these projects you see here, we have done many of them as pilots in our regional partnership already over the past 4 years. And so we're building and enhancing on these opportunities for teachers to be designers and learners throughout this. And so I'm going to not go into too many details, but if you check up there, you'll see that it involves the same things we've been talking about: research, industry, certifications, and again, the opportunity to have different pathways such as an associate's degree or other college credits.
So, yes, just sustainability. Or would you like to?
We see some inspiring data science.
We do. Maybe we can ask them to speak.
Should,
yeah,
so they can go back.
Let's do.
Maybe we should go to them, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Please. And also the executive director of the Smithsonian Conservation Center as well. So let's go with the students.
Let's go
to students first. Yeah.
Michelle, do you want to start? Michelle did
Michelle, right?
research projects with us.
Michelle, go ahead.
Hi, so I did computer science research with Shenandoah Valley. My project was basically on how I trained a convolutional neural network architecture called Neural Loop ones to detect and recycle plastics in bodies of water. So while I had my time during at Shenandoah, I learned a lot about machine learning and data science because they had us do workshops and then taught me the baselines of how to do things, and they had mentors. Now I work with Dr. Katie Smith from OU, and I work with Mr. John Riverfall, who is on call with us right now. And they were able to guide me through the process of just creating like the general project and doing the research, keeping me on track, and then giving me the resources that I need. But ultimately, it was my own project that I did and executed. And so I found it helped me a lot throughout my college application process. And it was able to give like an equal foothold on other counties that may be more like resourceful than us. It was able to give me a lot more opportunity. And it was during the summer I did it. So it was able to do it like outside school hours during the regular school year.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
Bennett, do you want to jump in, please? Bennett's from Millbrook High School.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And all those topics my grad student is also doing. So.
Thank you, Michelle.
Hey, I also did the class with Michelle last year and this year as well. My project was trying to identify students who would graduate college in 4 years or less. So that way financial aid programs could better distribute aid to each of them and reward their efforts. And I'm just going to say that while the class has been very helpful in teaching data science and definitely changed my outlook on the world, at the same time, there's definitely challenges that come with doing the class online, such as technology. The Chromebooks that we had from school just make it very difficult to do the project and do work. So I had to rely on my home computer, which I know not everyone has, and even for me, mine could be unreliable and crashing times. And then also just communication with teachers and professors online can be difficult. So having an in-person space would be very helpful for work.
Thank you.
And there are teachers right next to them who are actually, our ambassadors actually. So could we ask them to speak also? Jill, please. Jill.
What was that?
Can you ask? Yeah, could you actually say a few words, please?
Miss Keenan.
I'm sorry.
Miss Keenan, can you also say a few words, please?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things I'd like to talk about regarding the lab schools. I know, I think Dr. Crawford, Dr. Soshire has mentioned about how great it would be if students could earn these credentials, be able to earn money, and then either use that money in their life or to apply it to their education in college. Where we come from, Millbrook High School, which where Ben and I are, we are actually members of Microsoft Teal's Philanthropy Program, which brings volunteers into the classroom to offer through life experiences and applications. And one reason why we're chosen as only about a dozen in Virginia is because of our high level of diversity and rural setting, which often equates to some lower income. And to have this opportunity where students could develop skills that can help them earn more money would be really beneficial for the students in the counties that Dr. Cheshire had mentioned. The partnership we currently have with George Mason, students like Ben and Michelle, the projects they've done has really been astounding to see when you give these students the opportunity to pair with college professors and able to do research and then share out the research. They mainly just develop these prototypes, but if we had a lab school, then they can then take it a step further. These prototypes were developed based on problems identified with the national engineering grant challenges. So it's, it's beneficial to their community, their state, country, whatever world. And to be able to take it a step further and to continue their research and have technology that would allow them to not only process the data that they want, but also to collect it, especially through community partnerships, would just be amazing. So,
Ms. Keenan, thank you so much. Thank you so very much for your professionalism and for your eloquent advocacy for your students. Thank you. It's a delightful pleasure to have you come to our committee here today and provide testimony, as well as you, Mr. Weiss. And we very much appreciate hearing from you, as well as Ms. Whelan. Congratulations on your research. It sounds tremendous, and please continue forward in your journey. I know you will, but you're certainly making Virginia proud. So thank you so much for your contributions today.
Thank you. And we have a few more teachers, also somebody from George Mason too. Could we, Cody, are you able to speak? He's Cody Edwards is the interim dean for the college, and he's the executive director of the Smithsonian Mason Conservation Center. Cody, are you there? I thought I saw you.
I am here. Yes, I am, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Great.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to be with you today and to talk about this lab school. I also speak for our colleagues at the Smithsonian when I say how excited that we all are about this proposal. And there's a number of reasons for that, several of which that you've already heard from the students from Purdue, and from others. But for me, there's two or three, I think, really impactful and novel pieces here, which benefited students certainly, but also teachers and its communities. Number one has been said several times, this area is an area that is underserved. And so the Smithsonian Mason School of Conservation is based in Front Royal Square, front and center here. We realize the opportunities that oftentimes are missed or not provided to these students and to the teachers alike. And so it's exciting to think that there'll be a hub with more opportunities for that. The second piece to this, again, to me, when I look at this proposal, I hear from these students, it is impactful, there's no question about that. But I think it offers an opportunity that you don't see from a lot of programs today. And I'm not talking about lab schools, I'm talking about education systems, particularly in higher ed. That we don't focus on, we focus on learning facts, right? And regurgitating those facts on exams or whatever. But really, the most important thing I think that you're hearing from everybody here today is it's that experiential piece, right? It's solving problems, learning how to solve problems. And that translates into just about any field that you can go into, from teaching to engineering to computer science to business, right? It is all about problem solving. And I think this lab school is unique in the research opportunities, the problem solving opportunities that it presents. Certainly SMSC, in a world where everyone says everything is one of a kind, SMSC is truly one of a kind. You won't find a partnership with what the Smithsonian calls themselves a forever institution, and they indeed are a forever institution, probably the only forever institution. And so the opportunities that these students will have available to them, that the teachers will have available to them, is unlike anything I think anyone else could replicate. And so that is incredibly exciting. Certainly incredibly exciting to George Mason University, but also very exciting to the Smithsonian. This is an area that they have not done, admittedly. They have not done a good job of engaging. They're, because of their central focus in Washington, D.C., generally that 20-25 mile radius is where they focus most of their energy. And so this is an area that they have long wanted to, they've been out in front row for decades, but engaging this community has always been elusive to them for a number of reasons. And so they see this as a way to make a real impact in the region, to support students, to support parents, and to support teachers. So and again, my Smithsonian partners could not be more thrilled with this proposal and excited about it. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk today. Happy to answer any questions or provide other comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards, very much.
Yep, the principal here.
Hello, committee members, I'm extremely excited to be here. I will tell you, I took over as principal. Yes, Ben Thompson, principal at Dow J. Howard. So I'm extremely excited to be here, committee members. I would tell you, I took over as principal 2 years ago at Dow J. Howard with probably my top goal was to expand or offer new programming for kids at Dow J. Howard. We're an alternative education center, and we're also a CTE center. Primarily, career technical education is the primary student body that we have at Dow J. Howard. My personal goal is 10 new programs in 10 years. And we're well on our way. We have added criminal justice pilot program for 20 students. We're in about 3 more weeks. We'll hopefully, after the school board meets, we'll add a full-time instructor to add 80 additional spots, and an additional nursing instructor for certified nursing assistant program. We have the right staff, we have the right students, and it's the right time for us. The right time, and the reason I say it's the right time is the demand in our area through our application process was roughly 700 students for half of that number of spots that we had at Dow J. Howard. The right students, our students and staff are achieving at a high level. Most recently, they went to the Skills USA competition in Norfolk. Every single kid for Dow J. Howard that competed medaled. Every single kid. So they're achieving at a high level. It's an investment into our community. We just need your help. We need your help to be able to support a bigger program for kids at Dow J. Howard so that we can do what's right for our community and kids.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Dr. Sheshay, do you have others that you would like to have speak to?
Yes, we do have another student. I would give reference to a student. So Kelly and Annabelle, please. And Kelly.
Yes, sir. All right, Annabelle here. Hello, my name is Annabelle. I'm a current student within the JMU student-led research class, and I also just recently took the Shenandoah University Data 195 class. And right now I'm working on a research project with my teacher mentors, specifically about autism spectrum and ASD diagnosis. And the reason that I found this program to be very unique and very helpful for my personal goals is because this is kind of like a passion project, something that I'm very interested in. And throughout this year, I've been thinking about research and thinking about how I can apply my ideas. And I definitely use the things I've learned in Mr. Fairclough's class in computer science. But what these two classes have done for me as a student has allowed me to combine the computer science aspect of coding and apply it to something in the world with the research projects and learning like data analytics, mathematical modeling, etc. I'm currently in the process of making this research project and working closely with my mentors, such as Dr. Crawford, and I greatly appreciate all of the resources that this program has provided. I'm not only able to pursue like the actual research, but also the connections and the connections and the resources that this program has provided. It's been a wonderful experience, and to be honest, I'm now considering pursuing data science.
We didn't know. We didn't know this. We didn't know this. Thank you. Thank you for letting us know.
Dr. Huff.
Dr. Huff is the Regional Director for Governor School at Monte Vista. Kelly?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate y'all's time. Again, my name is Kelly Huff. I'm the director. I'm here, and Michelle and Annabelle, as you can see, are just exceptional students in this program. Mr. Fairclough, my computer science teacher. Our partnership with Laurel Ridge is very unique. I just personally have been with Mountain Vista. This will be my 4th year. In the 4 years that I've been here, the computer science associate degree, the pathway that we provide to students has grown. When I first came in and we graduated, about 8 students. We're close to 30 now. It is up and coming. The students love it. They love Mr. Fairclough, and being able to add that data science component to it, exactly what Annabelle shared with you, would just be exceptional, not just my Mountain Vista students, but everybody in this exceptional cohort. And I'll turn it over to Mr. Fairclough, because he is the man with it all. You know, I'm just a principal, so I'll let him speak to the nature of how it impacts our computer science pathway.
Yeah, thank you. I would say that for me, the most rewarding part is to see the growth of these students when they get the opportunities to do this research and the connections and the resources that are provided by Dr. Seshire and Dr. Crawford and the other instructors in other universities. See that growth in them. And to see, as Annabelle talked about, I heard see a passion project, and it was also the same with Michelle. They went after. You know, it's something I didn't do as a high school student, and I'm just so happy that we provide that to them. And I think it opens a lot of doors for them, both from an employment perspective and from getting into the universities that they're interested in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we, Ms. Annabelle, I want to say first, thank you on behalf of the entire committee. Student voice is so central to the work and our deliberation here, and I want to thank you so very much for sharing your experience and congratulate you on both your academic rigor as well as the passion by which and the fun you are having this next. So thank you for joining us today.
Could we have one more teacher speak 2 minutes?
Absolutely.
Brian, please. 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
So,
Brian?
And then committee wants to be able to ask.
Yes,
questions.
please,
Okay.
Brian Thomas.
60 seconds.
60 seconds.
First one I've had to limit.
That's fine, I guess. You guys can go quick.
Oh, Mr. Thomas, you're the last one. I'm so sorry. I didn't know that. So you know what? You get your full time. You've been patiently waiting. You've been online with us and you were early on. So, you know, you get your full time, consume as much time as you may need.
And we have here the Virginia High School Computer Science Teacher of the Year.
Teacher of the Year, Brian Thomas. Yes, Brian.
Yes, sir.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay, all right, so it's good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, so I'm Brian Thomas, I'm a computer science teacher in Frederick County Public Schools. This proposed lab school is perfect for our school system. Our educational stakeholders appear to have high expectations for our students, and this lab school will meet those expectations. As Dr. Huff was talking about how the computer science associate degree has grown in Laurel Ridge, also in Frederick County Public Schools, the last 5 years, it's basically grown tremendously here. The one thing I like about our program is very valuable for all types of students. And we've had instructors that teach computer science and recognition for diversity in their courses. So that's one thing that we focus on and make sure that we include all types of learners. And I'm confident that our students, our school system, our area are prime candidates for this computer science lab school. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you and congratulations on your tremendous accomplishment as an education professional. I can't, like, we're getting applause from the room, so thank you so much and congratulations.
He's
amazing.
He's amazing.
So amazing.
And thank you, I'm so sorry we took you away from your classroom, but thank you again for being here. All right, at this time, I'm going to go to Mr. Hanson, Vice President of the board, and for some questions or remarks.
Just thank you all. Just, I love the approach and just echo Mr. Rotherham's comments too about the region and I was just actually out in Winchester over the weekend for a birthday party for my grandson. Just really, with my daughter, the former speaker, her husband, a lot of the professions are just well needed in the region. So just thank you for your vision and your ability to bring all this together. Just really want to thank the students as well. You guys are incredibly impressive and make me feel a little bit like a dinosaur from my time when I was your age. But just congratulations on what you're doing. But and obviously, just as an alumnus of George Mason, I just my heart is with what you've done as a urban suburban campus since I've been there a long time ago, and just as expanding your footprint both geographically but also programmatically is just really impressive. And so I just and also I really love Laurel Ridge. I was actually at our math SOL public hearing there last summer.
That's right.
Yeah, I was really able to again see the little bit better picture of the community and its role in the community while I was there. And so just the perfect footprint for making this program successful. I really don't have any questions. I know we just kind of bypassed the sustainability slide. I just be interested between the DoD and NASA and the National Science Foundation, just a little bit of how that is working.
Absolutely. So I can make this quick. So I'm a former program director from the NSF, and had my portfolio was about 26 million to give away. So I really learned the ropes in terms of, how to choose good proposals. So now, with all that experience, there's lots and lots of programs at the NSF that we are applying to already through the, because of the planning grant. And we have a NASA application already in, actually, with Frederick County as partners, and all the Shenandoah Valley school divisions. We have a AFOSR grant already submitted. So these are all in review, but there are several. So that is one aspect, is applying to federal and Virginia Department of Education grants, advancing computer science education grants. The other one which we are very big on is both for-profit and non-profit foundation. So Bethel Corporation, Broadcom, we already have some grants from them, but we haven't really applied for lab school activities and all that. So as we expand on or build on what we already have, so that's something that we are going to be going after. The for-profit, we have talked to several companies and that are all very excited about, and it may not be direct in terms of funding, but it'll be in terms of internships. So for example, if they're offering internships, each one will cost money to them also. So this way, for these kids, I want to see them in the summer, working with some company and then showing off what they all learned and impress them and probably do much better than them. So, so those internships, apprenticeship is another one that we are actually also looking at the local businesses in Shenandoah Valley and actually doing summer exciting activities, but then follow up in fall and spring, but then earn course credit through George Mason. So for that work. So this is something that we are, and then also, we'll follow some of the other governor school models where you have the partnering districts. So, after a certain point, we'll work with the tuition formula, with the pupil funding and all that stuff.
Dr. Moran, do you have?
Yeah, I appreciate you illuminating a little bit of that, because that was one of my questions is, how do we make sure that each of these lab schools has a sustainable future?
Yes.
Because it would be, I think, exactly what we would not want to see if we came to the end of 5 years and we saw many of these shut down because of that. So thank you for sharing that. One of the other areas that I'm really interested in is how, from a professional development focus, that both teachers, I know that you've talked about, and Deb, and I know you're on the staff there as an adjunct, but also having some of the GMU student teachers in these areas coming in. So I'm really interested in a little bit of perspective on.
I can start. Yeah. No, this is a great question. Actually, this is a data science and computing and application. So right now, most colleges of education in the state and across the country do not have a data science education program. They have a math education program. They have a science education program. Data science is a very different beast by itself. It involves mathematics education, statistics education, and computer science education. Data science sits at the hub addressing a domain. And if we can, so yes, so we're not just focusing on the students that are coming straight from the College of Education, but also STEM students that are starting in the College of Science, College of Engineering, and then who want to teach. And so we're going to identify those students and give them the opportunity to work with the College of Education and then work with them to get their licensure aspects and all that. But it's great because right now there is no official licensure for data science. So this is exactly something that will be evolving. And in terms of sustainability, those certification and the micro credentials that we are going to be creating out of this, people are going to look for it. So we'll have charges for those things and all that at some point. It'll go through Go Virginia, and so it'll be something that will help sustain also. Go ahead.
And then my second question is, I'm thrilled to see a focus all the way through this on student mastery. That this is not something that's looks like it's going to be time dependent as much as it is skill and knowledge dependent, competency dependent. I'm wondering if you might talk about that a little bit because, I think that teachers all over the country have been saying for years, can we start focusing on something other than seat time in the high school, right?
Great question. So each student will have a personalized dashboard, and we're working with companies to develop that. And this dashboard, imagine that each student can develop a portfolio, but also a skill set through a dashboard. I don't want to say the name of the company, but it has modules where kids would do a pre-assessment and then go in and take modules in the data hub with the teachers in the data hub based on what they're working on. And it has built-in performance assessment all the way through. And it leads, of course, to a certification. So in itself, it's self-checking, and also it's not time dependent. As one student might be able to test out of a whole bunch of modules and focus on what he or she needs, and another might go a different route. So
and we have
and portfolios you can go
portfolio. The data science course already has a nice student rubric that we created. So we're going to be matching those student rubrics also along with this development as well. So I think
if I could add from an application standpoint, the alternative education side of our building is very, very good at that. They're very, very good at not a seat time, but skill dependent, right? And so under the leadership of Ms. Nicole Johnson, our primary administrator for that program, being able to leverage some of her skills and get that subset to this program will be vitally important. And then our program leader, Mr. Caden Thurgood, for career and technical education, his experiences in the real world, as we would say, through policing and whatnot, prior to coming to a career technical education administrator, being able to leverage some of his skills and knowledge of not so used to just that time or seat time, as opposed to skill dependent, get the skills that you need, and then let's master them and move forward. Our school motto is best as the standard. So we want to ensure that we're doing that at that level.
And this customization also, a kid may want to do restaurant and hotel management, but the data skills that we're giving, they could create a dashboard and sell the dashboard to the companies. That's the type of thing, in terms of meaning, or if they can predict which coffee sells the most at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday, Starbucks will hire them for 100K. So this is the type of skill. So we're going to let the kid choose what they want to do, but then the data is the holistic training that they're going to get, and they can choose what they want to go after.
I've heard Deb say so many times that it doesn't matter whether a student's going to work in a small business, whether they're going to work in the trades, whether they're going to go into a highly professional career. Reality is that data science is an area that all students are going to develop skill sets.
It cuts across all job sectors.
And Virginia is ahead of the curve.
Yes, it is.
Yes, we are.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rand. Mr. Bailey?
Just a couple of things. One, thank you so much for the students today. It was just great and inspirational, and just brings us to life. Two, I love this one too. Thanks so much for calling out the governor's executive order on AI. Virginia was one of the first states to really, create an executive order to help set up a process and begin thinking about responsible AI. And so back to reference that. And it really, it sets the table just because we know data science is super different from computer science, as you were just mentioning. And it is really going to be in the future, and not just for the data centers in Virginia, but this whole AI wave that we're in right now, is just going to create massive demand for data sets, public sets. We mentioned NSF. There's also going to be a lot of private data sets. There's public ones that could be people who know and unlock that. And we think what the students mentioned, machine learning. I mean, it just feels just really kind of future proofing. Some parts of the Commonwealth here, so thank you for doing it. The only question I had, could you just put a little deeper on some of the industry service certificates? I saw at times like a Google certificate was referenced, but I couldn't tell if students would earn it. And you mentioned some AWS certificates, but what kind of industry credentials can students earn coming out of this?
Yeah. So we are going to, so for example, Google already has a data analytics certificate where they have it in modules. So once you finish about 2 of those certifications, they are almost guaranteeing you a job. So, so we're going to tap into the Google's data analytics certification. AWS, we actually have them as a partner coming to give our teacher resources, and so they are just building their own certifications right now, cloud computing certifications and all that. And CompTIA is another one that we are working with also, which already is a very they have a slew of, lots and lots of certifications that we're going to choose from and all that. So Brian Thomas, do you want to chime in? I know you have worked with certifications also.
Yeah, in Frederick County, for our students certifications. And the good thing about it is some of the certifications we partnered with Laura Ridge, where the student was to pass that certification, they will get the college credit certification. I know we have one of them that passed the IC3 certification and get credit on the Laura Ridge of Virginia community college system, ICE 152, and then also on the programming side, if they take a Microsoft Technology Associates Java certification, if they were to pass that, that's the equivalent of the Java programming in college. So a lot of these certifications, we try our best to try to see, we partner with the Laura Ridge, students actually get like college credit for those. So in Frederick County, and I'm part of CT, also some industry certifications and stuff. It's a big thing, and it's very advantageous to students on that level of getting college credit. And there's times where these certifications are what students need to actually like graduate from high school, because every student need to have them.
And in the planning grant, we are currently working with Laurel Ridge, working with George Mason, and how those things can be transferred also to a four-year institution. So not just George Mason, they may want to go anywhere. So so we want to make those pathways also easy for them. So.
Thank you so much. No other questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey. Well, I want to say that your application makes me grateful. When I think about what the nature of a lab school should be, it is first, again, support for teachers. It is innovative learning opportunities for young people, the opportunity to have deeper research and learning, to have a sustainable plan, and to really have a deep partnership in a local community with school divisions. And all of those elements are satisfied in the application. And I want to thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for recognizing that.
So is there a motion to approve George Mason University's Frederick's Lab School application on first and final review and to refer the application to Virginia State Board of Education for approval?
So moved.
Is there a second? All those in favor of the motion, please indicate by stating aye.
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 The chair votes aye as well, and the motion is approved by a vote of 4-0. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you to all online.
Thank you to our team.
A wonderful team. Best of luck. And I'm sure that the state board will look forward to seeing you later.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you,
so
Bennett.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
students.
Annabelle, especially.
They all came out of their class.
Yeah. Now go get some lunch.
All right, at this time, on behalf of the committee, I direct the staff to post the George Mason University application for a 10-day public comment period in accordance with the standing committee's procedures, then to compile any comments received for the review by the Board of Education in May. I also direct the staff to finalize a report with the standing committee from today and our endorsement, and to compile a report along with the application and all additional materials, including the additional appendix that have been received by the standing committee, and to refer all those materials to the State Board of Education for their meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your wonderful work. So.
Thank you.
This time, we're going to proceed with the discussion of current items by any other lab committee member. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to see you. Let's wait till we're done with it. Okay. All right, discussion of current issues. Any items for the good of the order?
I have one.
Sure, Dr. Miranda.
I was really interested in looking at this summer calendar. That we actually have a meeting scheduled on July 3rd. I'm not gonna be able to make that meeting. So I didn't know how other folks felt about it, but I wondered whether we might look at not meeting in July. Since we will have done a lot of work this spring to get these applications through process. And so I just want to put that out to the committee.
As I see the nods of staff, like saying, take mercy on us. Mr. Bailey or Mr. Hanson, how would you feel about that item, sir?
Great idea.
A great idea. Mr. Bailey, would you concur? Is that acceptable? Okay, so I see a motion, I see a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye, the chair votes aye. The opposed, gosh, help you. All right, the motion is approved 4-0. July is the least removed. Thank you.
And there could be some others too.
And there could be some others as well. Thank you, Dr. Moran, for being so proactive. The only other, any other items for the good of the order? Okay, before we close out, I do want to make one comment. I do want to personally thank the president of the State Board of Education, Grace Creasy, for her support and leadership to ensure that for this meeting today, to ensure the materials were distributed to the committee members in a timely fashion, as well as distributed and made available to the public. I'm sincerely grateful for her support and time and leadership and her partnership with the committee and our particularly for this meeting. So thank you for that. Any public comment on non-agenda items, Dr. Armstrong? Hearing none. At this time, we stand adjourned. Our next scheduled meeting is Monday, June 3rd. Thank you so much.